American cities are very depressing. Now let's see how the mayoral candidates talk about homelessness.
Well, Josh Haskell joining us now with how they're trying to garner support. Josh.
Well, Mark, once again, homelessness is one of the biggest issues in the race for Los Angeles mayor, and we've had the unique opportunity the last 2 weeks to talk with the candidates in depth about how they would address the homeless crisis. The candidates in the Los Angeles mayor's race spending the day campaigning all over the city. Mayor Karen Bass in Westlake, where Churla, the Coalition for Humane Immigrant Rights, endorsed her. Spencer Pratt was in San Pedro, where he met with community members at a restaurant. And Nithya Raman attended an event in Baldwin Hills with former LAPD Chief Bernard Parks. Over the last 2 weeks, the candidates answered our questions about how they would solve the homeless crisis.
The number one thing that has been lacking is the services. So once we get people off the street, making sure that we address why they fell on the street to begin with. Josh, 60% of the people at Inside Safe have remained housed. I think it's really important to build on that success.
Councilwoman Nithya Raman has been critical of how expensive Mayor Bass's Inside Safe program has become, saying it's not sustainable.
We don't have real oversight over the hundreds of millions of dollars that this city is spending on homelessness every single year. That is a travesty. We absolutely need to have that. Last year, during the budget process, I was finally able to establish a Bureau of Homelessness Oversight.
Democratic Socialist Ray Wong believes the key to solving homelessness is building housing, which she says would also lower crime.
Housing should be for people, not for profit. And so we need to make housing a real reality for most folks, because a lot of people can't stay stably housed.
Unfortunately, the expenditures on homeless people in Los Angeles right now are unsustainable. Since its launch in December 2022, the city of Los Angeles has spent more than $300 million on the Inside Safe program, averaging over $250,000 per person. It's like you might as well just, your solution might as well just be to imprison all homeless people. Like, that's the level of economic efficiency we're talking about here. So much of this money just gets fleeced off to contractors, wasted. It's just the same. It's the same as everything. All government initiatives, everything is just fraud and corruption on every level.
Spencer Pratt would take a much different approach. Pratt would send the homeless who are addicted to drugs to rehab centers his administration would construct on federal land using prefab buildings.
Why federal land, out of curiosity?
They're choosing to be on the street because they want to do drugs. They don't want rules. They don't want to listen. They want to have animals to abuse. This idea,
Jesus Christ,
that they're forced on the street right now is a lie.
Tech entrepreneur Adam Miller's plan for the homeless would grow out of the work he's already done. Miller founded the nonprofit Better Angels.
Started working on prevention, services, shelter, housing, and technology. And in just
here's where the fucking money's going, dog. LA spent more than $300 million on Inside Safe since Bass launched the program, clearing scores of homeless encampments, moving about 5,800 people into interim housing, mostly hotels and motels. So, like, it's literally just a fucking subsidy program for local motels. I'm assuming, just like the government pitching them $1,000 a day to literally anything but just building housing, man. Percentage of participants who are back on the street. Oh God, 40%. So only a few thousand people have actually been taken off the street. How many homeless in Los Angeles? Around 72,000. Yeesh. UCLA Law School Professor Emeritus Gary Blassie, expert in homelessness, said the program has become too expensive to justify the results. Blassie said there were never enough vouchers and low-cost apartments. It's always with the fucking public-private partnerships, dude. The government, in America, it is illegal. They will shoot you if you even propose this, for the government to say, we have money, why don't we do the solution? Why don't we build the thing? Why don't we do the program? You always have to give the money to a private company. The government can never just hire people to do a job. It always has to be, like, in some way, shape, or form, the money has to go back in to the fucking private sector. Always. The city's been paying for them to live in expensive motel rooms for long stretches. Yeesh. Once they started having people in interim housing for 9 months or a year, that should have rang some alarm bells, because that's not just sustainable. Yeep. Look at this, man. Inside safe participants also face a wide array of rules. They are barred from leaving the premises for 3 consecutive days without prior approval. Alcohol and illegal drugs are prohibited in their rooms, which are inspected multiple times a day. Multiple times a day? The city of LA is paying for inspectors to go to every one of these motel rooms and turn over the covers multiple times a day? But on paper, you advocate for this. Money goes back to local people. No, it doesn't. It goes to the motels. It goes to giant motel and hotel chains who just fucking reinvest that money in their own. It's just going back into the damn dragon horde. It's not going to paychecks. Bass is also blocking the new LA Metro line because the line will go under the neighborhood of one of her friends. So she's proposing a different alignment that'll cost millions more and take longer to build. That's cool, man. Is LA just held up by a shit ton of money because it sounds so incompetent? That's all of America. Like, the whole country is like this. The only reason we haven't completely collapsed is because there's such an unbelievable amount of money circulating around in this country. If any other country operated as inefficiently as we did, it would have, like, defaulted decades ago. Here's the correct link. Oh, man, I don't...
Hi folks, I'm here with a very brief update on the K-Line Northern Extension as new information has come to light. Long story short, we could be entering corruption probe territory here on the K North vote. I don't have time to go into all the background, but luckily I just did a few days ago, so check this video out first if you haven't. But I will recap this.
No, I don't even want to. There's too much. We've already been talking about this for too. We've been talking about the poop city for too long, man.
Homelessness. 4 years ago, when we did a debate,
it's the last video I have in the tabs.
It was the #1 topic. It is right up there again. This is an issue that continues to challenge the city. Homelessness, many residents say the homeless in their neighborhoods make them feel unsafe. They feel the homeless have more rights than the residents do. So these are two yes or no questions for each of you.
Oh, yeah.
Right now, getting off the street is voluntary. Should that change if a bed or a shelter is available? Mr. Pratt, we're going to start with you. Yes or no?
It's illegal to live on the street. So, yes, everyone needs to go inside.
Okay, Mayor Bass.
Everybody needs to go inside. Making it illegal and arresting people is not the way to solve this problem.
Ms. Rahman.
Yes, people need to go inside. When they're offered shelter, they go inside.
You don't get an opportunity
it is illegal.
To say no. So it's unanimous here.
What?
Next question. Do you support the ordinance that restricts in
What? 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 Why was she cut off?
In front of schools or daycare centers? Mayor Bass, I'm going to start with you. Yes or no? Ms. Rahman, yes or no?
I support keeping our streets safe. I did vote against the structure of this particular ordinance. And it is because, at its best,
it's a yes or no.
It does not, the way this ordinance was structured,
it's no.
It does not keep our children safe. It does not keep our children safe. No,
Mr. Pratt.
It doesn't keep our children safe enough.
It's a simple yes or no question. Mr. Pratt.
What I was saying is she's fighting because she doesn't think there's a difference between 1 foot or 500 feet for kids' safety with drug addicts with machetes in front of schools.
Yes or no?
Of course, we do not want encampments in front of schools, parks, daycare.
Okay,
I don't want vehicles.
Mayor, you had talked about inside safe. Let's go into that a little bit. You've suggested that there has been progress made, but even the Los Angeles Homeless Services Authority, which the city contracts with, has said that upwards of 40% have left and gone back to the street. I mean, there's a concern that a lot of money is being spent. There's been some progress, certainly not enough. I'll have you defend your program.
So, Conan, I declared a state of emergency on day 1 because I know that what Angelenos want to see are their streets clear.
How do you even fix a route this pervasive? I'm sorry. I know people get upset when I say this. I don't think you can. Like, I think at the end of the day, it comes down to capital, right? The reason LA has this issue is because the government is completely neutered in its ability to do anything to address systemic issues. And that's because so much power and deference has been given towards the public-private partnerships, where there's no real incentive to fix problems, but rather to drag out taxpayer-funded contracts, not to get my Reddit mad at me again or anything. Like, it's on a fundamental level, like, we're dealing with a bad incentive structure here, and I don't actually think good governance can really fix it. You need like a... You need an underlying shift in the material conditions. I know, it's trite, it's tiresome, but it is what I believe.
Inside Safe is the only citywide program that we have had that has reduced homelessness 2 years in a row. Prior to that, there was no citywide strategy, and homelessness was going up year after year. We need to have an entirely new system that is frankly independent in the city of Los Angeles, because we need to build out services once we get...
Vaush, I'm wild to be behind your stream, but if you're still curious about what the Patagonia merch looked like, the official legal complaint contains images of it. Oh, okay. So she actually wore... Okay, so they're contained in the lawsuit itself, I see. So there were multiple instances of her holding these up then, and in this, she's holding them here alongside the logo she actually was selling. Like these she was selling merch with. So I can see Patagonia getting pissy about this, yeah. Anyway, not immediately relevant. Lawsuit says people replying to the post were confused about if it was official Patagonia post or not. I really wonder what the internal communication was like. So what if you're famous, you just can't wear branded clothes? No, that has nothing to do with what we're talking about. Go a couple segments ago. You'll see the context.
People off the street. The same report also said that 60% of the people in Inside Safe stay inside. So it is a program that is working. Absolutely. Does it need to be better? Does it need to be more cost effective? And we're working on that right now by building temporary structures on city-owned property. We can do this, Los Angeles. We have been doing it for the last 3 years, and it's the first time homelessness has gone down.
Because you're paying like $2,000 per day per person to shelter them in hotels, man. Like,
Councilmember Raman, so you promised to clear half of the encampments by the Olympics and all of it by the end of your term if you get elected.
Yes.
My question to you, you've been in the city council for 5 years. Why are we barely seeing this plan yesterday? I think it was posted on your Instagram. And is this realistic?
Absolutely, it's realistic, and it's realistic because I've done it in my own district. This is exactly the plan that I've operationalized in my district to get a 54% reduction in tents and encampments in my district in 3 years.
Okay.
In 3 years. Yes. And I am one council member and proposing a plan for an entire city at this time. It is absolutely realistic. But what I want to go back to is the idea that we are satisfied with our homelessness system right now. I don't think anybody in Los Angeles right now can say that we are satisfied.
I was a parole agent in Chicago. I asked myself the same question. Why hire these contractors when the state can do it? Again, once you see past the veil, once you see the matrix code and you understand what it means, almost every government program, municipal, state, or federal, is a way of transferring taxpayer dollars to capital. That's it. Like, genuinely, almost every new initiative, every effort, every program, everything they do is a way of taking your tax dollars and giving them to a company. That's it. It's every time, man. There is no reason the government couldn't just handle it themselves. It wouldn't even need to be like a direct government-owned system. You could have the government build the housing and manage the zoning and manage the rules for the housing, but not have it be entirely government-owned. Like, there are degrees here, but the government consistently chooses the outcome that maximizes the amount of taxpayer dollars going to private companies, you know? It's all trickle-up economics, man, on every level. It's not fixable.
With spending extraordinary amounts of money on our homelessness response and getting only incremental progress in response. I want to change that. Let's use the dollars that we're spending. Let's actually build out a real system that can get as many people indoors as possible. Let's not put them into $100,000 a year motel rooms for a year or more per person. This system is not fiscally sustainable, and we must work to end this crisis with urgency and with accountability right now.
So you'll make a commitment to clear all the encampments by the end of your term if you get elected.
Yes, that's
what? No, what fucking retard debate, idiots, man. No mayor could do all encampments. You'll promise then you'll fix every problem then, right? What the fuck?
correct.
Insane debate.
Yes, ma'am.
I have to respond because I know the statistics she's talking about in her district, but the statistics are there because of Inside Safe, because she has called on Inside Safe repeatedly. I took the initiative to go into her district to make sure that encampments were cleared. We absolutely...
So Vaush is saying Chicago, Miami, and LA can't do what NYC is doing? Well, to an extent, no. Like, it depends on what specific program you're referring to, but also Mamdani can't fix this problem either. Mamdani can't fix this. You know that, right? Mamdani doesn't control a fucking NYC Fed. The underlying, like, the trickle-up economic system that we're dealing with isn't really addressable at a municipal level. You would need you would need like a global economic paradigm shift. It would be difficult to get a mayor of Mamdani's quality in LA, though. LA is just not built in the same way as New York City. He got rent caps at best. Yeah, I mean, and even then, it's only because there was existing law allowing for it, you know? LA is structurally much more broken than New York City is.
We need a new system, and it has to have a comprehensive approach. Right. And there's no rooms for $100,000.
We need to move on here.
Sorry,
Mr. Pratt, you have been critical of what you consider failures of the current administration on this issue. You advocate for what some have called get help or get out of the way. What is that, and how do you do it?
I don't know who made up that name. First off, I just want to say, Councilwoman Robin acts like she doesn't have any authority with this homelessness. She was the third most powerful person in city council. She runs the homeless housing thing. She acts like this is just homeless Mayor Bass. Thing. First off, inside safe, I like to say inside safe makes all of us outside unsafe. The reality is no matter how many beds you give these people, they are on super meth. They are on fentanyl. The DEA statistic says 93% of this is a drug addiction problem. Nithya, Councilwoman Robin's plan for treatment first, I will go below the Harbor Freeway tomorrow with her, and we can find some of these people she's going to offer treatment for. She's going to get stabbed in the neck.
I kind of appreciate how openly evil he is, man. He's really not leaving anything on the table. He is so fucking contemptible. He's so demonic.
These people do not want a bed. They want fentanyl or super meth. These ideas cost us over $400 million to house for 70, what did you say, 3,000 people for $400 million? This is absolute failure for both of them.
Is this the Republican? Oh, can you tell?
Team.
So, Councilmember Rahman, you have 30 seconds to respond.
I want to just say to everybody who's watching today, you're going to watch today as Mayor Bass and Spencer Pratt attack me because they want to run against each other in the general election. Each of them thinks that running against each other is what's going to help them win. And they don't want to run against me because my ideas, which are based on real results in my district, which are based on real data, a real analysis of the system, and a focus on accountability and using every dollar as effectively as possible, which we have done in my district. I want to take this citywide. This is why this is happening today.
Councilmember Rahman, we're out of time. I'm going to give each of you 30 seconds to respond to this.
I think she got interrupted like every time she tried to talk.
Mr. Pratt, I'm going to start with you, and then I'm going to go to Mayor Bass.
First off, Mayor Bass and I are definitely not working together. I blame this person for burning my house and my parents' house and my town and all my neighbors down. I am not working with Mayor Bass. Second off, if I wanted to run...
He's fucking crazy, man. He's really, like, committed to the bit, you know?
Against anybody, it would be the council member who is terrible. Mayor Bass has at least been a mayor for almost 4 years and has, as she talked about earlier, the unions, all the unions endorsed Mayor Bass. You think it's easier to run against the incumbent mayor with all the unions or a random city council member who's been a failure for 6 years? I would much rather run against Councilwoman Rahman. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr.
Man. Well. God help me. One more.
Question from a student from the Harvard of the West, Loyola Marymount University. Your name, your major, and what year are you? And your question.
Good evening. My name is John Kasabian. I am a senior urban and environmental studies major. My question for you is that Los Angeles remains one of the most unaffordable regions in the nation. If elected, what is one housing policy you would implement immediately or change?
Mayor, we'll start with you.
Yes, the housing policy that I did implement immediately after I declared a state of emergency around homelessness, I expedited the building. 42,000 units are being fast-tracked for affordable housing. We have another 40.
I'm sorry.
I expedited the building. 42,000 units are being fast-tracked for affordable housing. We have another 43,000 units that are potential with our adaptive reuse, which means you can change office buildings into housing. We also changed the zoning codes. So
Yeah, are they single family units? I'm curious.
we have the potential for another 500,000 units. I know that one of the primary drivers for the lack of affordability in our city is housing and making sure that people can afford to live here. So that is how I have focused on addressing the affordability issue. Now, there's a lot of other...
I see. Units in pipeline. Over 42,000 proposed. Just over 6,000 units are actively under construction. More than 36,000 approved units are delayed, largely due to high construction costs and financing gaps. Gotcha. Yeah. Again, it might just not be fixable. There are so many... I don't know.
factors that come into affordability that we can't control, such as the price of gas or what is happening 3,000 miles away. But every single thing we can do, rent stabilization, reducing the price of rent, eviction prevention. I started the Mayor's Fund that allows us to do that.
Thank you, Mayor. Councilwoman.
Thank you for that question. This is one of the driving factors behind my candidacy and the work that I want to do. The cost of housing is driving young families out of the city. It's driving young people out of the city. It is making this into a city that is no longer one of opportunity, and it is not central to anyone else's agenda on this stage except for mine. The mayor has not had a deputy mayor of housing during a housing crisis for the last 2 years. The ED1 program has entitled 42,000 units, but only 14% of them are actually under construction.
We just
what
talked
we need
about
to do
that.
is make sure that the city gets out of the way. Right now, on average, the city takes over 1.5 years to approve multifamily housing, apartments, exactly the kind of housing
That's fucking crazy, dog. On average, 1.5 years?
that we desperately need in order to bring prices down. Why is the city standing in the way? As mayor, I will take my executive authority over the departments and ensure that they respond to new apartment applications within 60 days if they are zoning compliant, so that we can build exactly the kind of housing that will make this into a city of opportunity again.
Ms. Rahman, thank you. Mr. Pratt, you have 60 seconds.
She also mentioned me.
She did. I heard it.
See how nice they are being to each other?
She's a nice person, actually.
That's good to know.
What's going on here?
Well, first of all, I disagree in terms of how much time it takes to go through the process. We have cut red tape so you can go through much quicker than that. The 42,000 units of housing that are being fast-tracked, 6,000 of those units are actively under construction, but there are definitely other factors that have weighed into that. And some of the factors are the price of construction materials, just the general economy, and we are doing everything we can to make sure that we are able to fast-track that housing. We want to see people move in right now, which is why we've come up with a variety of ways in addition to that.
Thank you very much. Mr. Pratt, are you ready?
I am. Thank you so much.
You have a minute to respond.
Well, the good news is when I enforce the law and clear the street of the drug addicts that have taken over 40 blocks of downtown LA, abandoned buildings that have drug addicts just lighting them on fire every other day, I will have potentially 20,000 units available to build.
I was wondering what his approach would be to the affordability housing crisis question, but it seems like once again it just comes back to putting homeless people in a wood chipper, you know? These people are such fucking animals.
And thankfully, I spent a lot of time in a town that has a lot of builders, and I see all the new 3D printing and the potential.
You can tell he doesn't believe a single thing he's saying too, because he's always grinning with like barely disguised contempt whenever he says it. He's like, oh yeah, once we get those dirty homeless out, like he knows he doesn't give a shit. He knows he doesn't give a fuck about the outcome here. He's a Republican. He's not going to win in LA. He's just here to vice signal. That's it.
How fast we can do it. And with this ED1 that Mayor Bass is talking about, I met with the developer this week, Carlos, and he said, yes, she did an initiative where she fast-tracked it 6 months. It's been 2.5 years, and he hasn't been able to get his permits. The best part is some of these developers that are taking all of our tax money are charging $750 a square foot for stuff that should be costing $250. And Councilwoman Rahman, this plan that she's going to build all these units, guess what? She's going to sue all the people that actually rents to the the tenants, and then they're not going to even want to rent to anybody because she wants people to squat in there for a year and not pay. So I don't know how her plan's going to work.
Councilmember Rahman, you have 30 seconds to respond, and then Conant has a question that coincides with all of this. Please.
Great. I mean, I'm not sure how to respond to that vision of Los Angeles. This is a MAGA Republicans' idea of what Los Angeles looks like. This is really not. This is.
Please.
Great. I mean, I'm not sure how to respond to that vision of Los Angeles. This is a MAGA Republicans' idea of what Los Angeles looks like. This is really not. This is really not the city that I love so much. We need to make this city so much better.
Yeah.
We have to work so hard to ensure that this city works for everyone who lives in it. And crucial to that is actually ensuring.
Dude, the moderators like fucking hate Rahman, dude. They fucking despise her. Holy shit.
I'm sorry, I was still speaking.
Okay, no, continue, Council.
Okay.
Okay, so.
Sure, man. Okay. Well, yeah, Poop City.